Over the weekend, there was a potentially world record-setting Trump boat parade near Clearwater, Florida. The mainstream media barely covered it, if at all. So we're covering it here now because we are the news now. Look at all those boats. This is newsworthy. This is of special interest to boaters all over America, yet it wasn't covered. And this is a clear example of the Trump train in full effect and the silent majority making their voices heard. In election primary news, two pro-QAnon candidates, Laura Loomer and Marjorie Taylor Greene, both won their primaries. So just as the left has the squad, we're now building up the Q team. In a bit of irony, protesters protested in person against voting in person. And just making sure everyone's seen this really awesome campaign advertisement by Kim Klacik. She's running for Congress. I guess she's from Baltimore. Awesome ad. Our third Q candidate is Deanna Lorraine. She's running against Nancy Pelosi in California.
Manipulate and brainwash we the people. Because for them, the ends justify the means.
You demonize, and then we call it the wrap-up smear. If you want to talk politics, you call it the wrap-up smear. You smear somebody with falsehoods and all the rest, and then you merchandise it. And then you write it, and they'll say, see, it's reported in the press that this, and this, so they have that validation that the press reported the smear, and then it's called the wrap-up smear. Now I'm going to merchandise the press's report on the smear that we made. And it's a tactic.
Also wanted to advertise Bryson Gray. He's making songs all day, every day, MAGA-related, Trump-related. His best track is Donald Trump is Your President, but all the songs he makes are pretty good. He's really created his own lane. You might have heard him featured at the end of the Hodge Twins, so definitely check out Bryson Gray if you haven't already.
Hey, try to the 20, I'm about that. Touch my hand, I doubt that. 2-8 never go without that.
On the human trafficking front, I'm surprised nobody's brought up DynCorp. Back in like the 2000s, DynCorp was the ultimate Epstein of its day. So there's a small article on Wikipedia, Sex Trafficking of Children in Bosnia. In the late 1990s, two employees, Ben Johnston, a former DynCorp aircraft mechanic, and Catherine Bolkovac, a UN International Police Force monitor, independently alleged that DynCorp employees in Bosnia engaged in sex with minors and sold them to each other as slaves. Johnston and Bolkovac were fired, and Johnston was later placed into protective custody before leaving several days later. Then it goes on to say, many of the employees accused of sex trafficking were forced to resign under suspicion of illegal activity. As of 2014, no one has been prosecuted. And then there's a book. It says Bolkovac co-authored a book with Carl Lynn titled The Whistleblower, Sex Trafficking, Military Contractors, and One Woman's Fight for Justice. In 2010, the film The Whistleblower, starring Rachel Weisz and Vanessa Redgrave, was released. I never even heard of it. There's a lot of good and a lot of bad videos on Agenda 21. A recent one from June was really good. It was an interview with Rosa Corey from Democrats Against Agenda 21 or something like that. But anyway, it was very informative. She knows her stuff inside and out. If you needed to get primed, like a good primer on all the different facets of Agenda 21, this is the video to watch. The pace is good. She sticks to the point, and she gives you all the information you need. It's really good. So check it out. I'll put a link in the description below. Now that we've all lived through the pandemic, Agenda 21 is a topic that both the right and the left can unite behind and find some common ground because no one likes what's going on. When it was announced Kamala Harris as the vice president, all the different YouTube sites had their own hit pieces on her. I think Steve Pieczenik's was the most vicious. If you don't watch all the Steve Pieczenik Opus series, you can see he's up to Opus 231. I've seen all of them. They're all great. They're all about 5 minutes long, much like this particular show, now till November. So check out Dr. Steve Pieczenik's Kamala Harris, this video. Subscribe to him and check out all of his Opus videos. I learned something from every single one of them. So if I'm learning from it, chances are you could learn from it too. Trump was speaking to, I think it was the New York police, and he was asking them which nickname for Joe Biden that they preferred.
What's better, Sleepy Joe or Slow Joe? Tell me. What is it? I go back and forth. I go back and forth. Okay, let's do it. Who likes Slow Joe? Who likes Sleepy Joe? That's what I thought. I got all these guys telling me, oh, you ought to do, we don't like Sleepy because it's rude. They said it's rude. I said, you know, we're talking about the President of the United States. I can tell you one thing. Putin and Kim Jong-un And President Xi of China, they're not sleepy. We don't have to say, we're never going to say sleepy or slow. And we can't have slow, sleepy people dealing with them either.
Trump is something else. Anyway, we hit that 5-minute mark. I'll see you in the next one.